What's up, guys? So, I'm in kind of a familiar place back down here in southern Alabama. And today is Independence Day, so to all of you folks celebrating with your hot dogs and your hamburgers and your fireworks, happy 4th of July. And for me, it is Recovery Day. What does that mean? I'm going over to the house, and those who are familiar with the story already know that financially I am no longer responsible for that home, but legally I still have residence in that home. As confirmed through legal counsel and the local law enforcement authorities, I can come and go as I please. And what today is it's my recovery day. That means I need to get my vehicles up out of there, and any personal effects that I want to take, and I've explained that in the past, how that all works. But yeah, so that's the plan. I'll go over there and go ahead and grab the things that are mine and move those as needed. So I'll take you along for the ride and we'll see how it all goes. It'll be interesting.
I don't even know my competitors' names. I don't even know they exist. Give a fuck. Spend 0 seconds on it. Cheering for them, let them do their thing, has nothing to do with me. The world is abundant. Nobody on earth is taking your money or your happiness. Your perception that they are is taking your money and your fucking happiness.
See how mad she is? Hold on, where do you get this? Ow! Wait a minute, I got this. Oh wait, you only got 2 spots So I had an interesting conversation with a couple of guys from the local agency, local PD here, city police. They came right out as soon as I called them. I wanted to show them a little document that I had received that has been hidden from me. My youngest kid's mother has now decided that because she attempted to in the past file a petition for protection order. It was discovered that the information she provided in there was false because my driver logs proved otherwise. She made an attempt that she was physically abused by me and emotionally abused, and she wanted everything. And as soon as my attorney got a hold of that and realized that, no. And then she had made a call to my ex-wife, who reached out to me the first time in almost 10 years, the day before Christmas, to tell me that she had propositioned her and offered to pay her $5,000 to come down here and testify in front of a judge that I had hit her before. And she was like, I'm not doing that. He's never hit me before. And because I never have. And she went on to tell her and other people that on December 17th, I broke her eye socket. But I have pictures of her right after Christmas time. She was at her mom's house. And then actually on Christmas Eve, I was here. She was here as well. And no broken eye socket. If you ever seen somebody with a broken eye socket, it's pretty bad. Usually bust the eye up pretty well, broken blood vessels, cheek, all that stuff. Usually got to get some surgery. Nothing. So then February came around, and I've mentioned it before, and I'm not going to discuss it in too much detail, but she slipped up and told me something else had happened. And I said, well, it's not my problem, that's your problem. And she wanted to try to pin it on me, and I was again able to prove otherwise. She got mad, and she attempted to go down to the sheriff's department again and do the same thing. Her father tipped me off and let me know. We had a long conversation, like 3 hours one night, in the middle of the night. I stayed up all night long talking to him. And his response to me was, well, in the past, his response to me was, I don't know why she does this. I don't know why the hell she does this. She'll get with men, have a family, build up a home, be comfortable, and she'll blow it up. And I thought it was the most ironic thing, because it was one of those things that, from watching all the videos that I have and doing the research I have, two terms come into play a lot, and you'll hear the term home wrecker, and what they're referring to is a woman who blows up her own home, or somebody who blows up their own home. And I just thought it was ironic that he made that statement. So what he told me then in March, I think it was March or April, I came back because I wanted to make sure that I was cleared. I had just left out. Can't remember what month it was. But anyway, I came back. She had stolen some property from me. She was facing felony charges for that. And then she was given the opportunity to turn the property over or go to jail. So she made her dad get involved, and he took it over. And then I came back. I retrieved that property. It's on my Facebook. People seen it. They thought I went to jail. I thought it was funny. But then she turned around and she tried to do this thing where she was going to file another protection order against me, and she was basically shooed away. You guys have to understand, she filed all this stuff under false pretenses. It was proven that it was all false. She was facing jail time for those false accusations. And then she wrote a letter to the judge, who then refused to drop the case and said, no, you can come into court. And she was forced to come into court, and she had to walk right next to me the whole time, shaking like a leaf, because she knew she was in trouble. So the sheriff's department the second time refused to even deal with her. And she, a couple months ago, she was supposed to get some testing done. She had to go to a local doctor. She wanted me to go, and then she realized it wasn't a good idea if I went, because it would expose a lot of things. And at 11 o'clock in the morning, she grabbed the baby and left out of the house. Didn't say anything, and I didn't say anything. I don't argue. I don't debate with her. It's already been pounded in my head. Don't argue, don't debate. So I don't. And she left that day, and she came back shortly after 5 p.m., but I didn't know this because I was sitting on the sofa eating dinner. I prepared myself some dinner, and I got a knock at the door, and it was a local PD. And the gentleman said, what's going on? I said, I don't know. You tell me what's going on. He says, well, I'm just here to mediate. I said, well, then mediate away. I said, but what are you mediating for? He says, well, she wants to get some stuff for her and the kids. I said, okay, cool. She goes in, grabs some stuff, comes back out into the living room. I'm sitting there and I'm talking to the police officer, friendly enough guy. And that's actually when the charges were pressed for her stealing the electronics that she did. And she turns around and looks at me and says, so are you going to leave now? And he says, whoa, what do you mean, is he going to leave now? He's like, you called us to escort you over here so you can get your stuff and leave, so you're going to leave. No, he's got to leave. He's like, no. He's on the house. What are you talking? He doesn't have to leave. He hasn't caused any problems. I remember him saying this. One thing about me is, like, when you're dealing with a narcissist, they will try to make you believe that whatever you heard or whatever you witnessed is not real, and that whatever they tell you is what really happened. But I have a very good memory, and I remember him saying that, and I thought, wow, okay. I'm not at the house. I'm not going to leave. He's like, you're going to go. You came here. You had us escort you here to get some personal property, and you were going to leave, so that's what you're going to do. I asked about the electronic devices that she had stolen from me, and she claimed that she didn't have them and that she actually threw them out. And he looked at me and he said, what's the value on that stuff? I said, no, I gave him the value. And he calls over to his commanding officer, and that guy says, well, that's aggravated felony theft. Go ahead and charge her. And the entire time we're tracking all the electronics, and we can see they're in the car. And that's when I discovered she had a second phone that was supplied by her father. Strangely enough, this is the guy who claimed he didn't want to get involved in any of this because he's seen it enough times. He didn't want to get involved anymore. But he was. So she rolled. And later on down the line, what she had then told me was that she was staying in a shelter for a couple days. A shelter for battered women. And I'm like, well, why would you stay in a shelter for battered women? Like, who would you go to claim that you were battered? Because the police officer was here. Not once was there a discussion of an assault. Not once. Remember, he came here to mediate and to make sure she get her stuff out. And as I discussed with the police officers that I called over this evening when I brought that subject up, they're like, oh yeah, if she had made a claim that you had assaulted her, at the very least, you would have been detained in cuffs and sitting on that sofa while we questioned you, and then decide whether or not we're taking you to jail. But you would have been removed from the home for sure. So what happened was, when we were together this past Memorial Day weekend, I was only here for a day. I came in late Friday night. Saturday, me and the boys were going to go to the beach. She wanted to go. I said, well, I'll get along with you, so that's fine. If you want to go, that's fine. And what I explained to her on the way out, I said, look, we're not doing this anymore. Like, I've gone beyond any reasonable person's, I've gone beyond my willingness to continue to keep paying all of your bills. The only thing I'm obligated to is child support, and that's it. That's all you're going to get going forward. And she was real angry about that because she knows she can't afford to pay for all this. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm at the house right now. Okay? And what the police department told me is, yeah, you've got every legal right to be here because you still have documentation. Regardless of how she tried to switch it, you're still in the house. And until she takes it to her lawyer and gets it reviewed and understands what she signed, she can't get you out. I said, well, I'm not trying to invade the house. Don't get me wrong. I only came back today because I'm getting the vehicles out of here and I'm getting the last of my things out. They're like, okay, well, like, is she around? No, she's still in Virginia. She's up there playing around. As a matter of fact, guys, she turned around and sent me a birthday card from her and the boys with the return address being this house and sent it to this house, not realizing when they postmarked it from Virginia. Come on, guys. She don't think. But it's okay. I'm good with it. So, these guys are telling me, like, yeah, how about this? If you're curious, give us your ID. We'll run you. I said, fine, that's fine. I'm a Fed contractor. I got to make sure I'm clean anyway, so let's go ahead and do it. So they ran it. Only thing that came up was the closed case that she tried, where she attempted to try to file the first protection order. Nothing. I said, well, I've got this letter here. I said, it's an unenforceable letter from basically what is Alabama's Child Protective Services. I said, and she has made a claim now that I have abused the baby. They're like, okay, so when did she file? I said, well, I was here the day before Memorial Day. I left on Memorial Day morning, early in the morning. I said, and she left the Thursday after. So she could have only filed on Tuesday or Wednesday. But you weren't here Tuesday or Wednesday. I said, no. And did anything happen the entire time? I said, no. It was a fantastic trip. I said, the only thing she was upset about is when I told her on the way out that I would no longer be together with her, wouldn't even consider it, and not trying to, fix this problem because I can't fix her. And because I can't fix her and I can't fix this issue, I have no desire to be in this relationship whatsoever. And the only thing I'm willing to provide her is, the legally mandated and court-approved child support. That's it. And she's mad about that. So the way to take care of the problem, knowing that she can't go to the sheriff's department, is go back through Child Protective Services that she was already under investigation with. Now, these folks have turned around on several occasions now, and they were the ones who talked her into filing the first protection order. The agreement was, you file a protection order against him, and we'll let you off with the child abuse thing. She told me that from her own mouth. She showed me the paperwork. I've got all the paperwork. That's the thing she forgets. I have all of the paperwork. And I'll make sure I post it up on here for you to take a look at. And I thought it was kind of strange. I'm like, huh. So now I'm being investigated. But here's the kicker, guys. On Father's Day, I was scheduled to come through here. Okay? Had a load coming straight through and everything. And I was supposed to be here the day before my birthday, which was also Father's Day. And then Father's Day and my birthday, and then the day after. She was in Virginia. She booked, remember? She's gone. So because she's gone, in the meantime, they're trying to serve me with a certified letter. Somebody signed for the certified letter because I found it sitting on the credenza by the front door this morning, addressed to me, along with the original ticket saying they were trying to serve me. Now, I don't know who would have signed for that, other than the fact that her dad's supposed to have been here watching these dogs. I got here today, and it was a hot mess. Dogs have no food. They had urinated all over the house. I just got done cleaning up all the carpets and everything because it was a mess. I'm sure that he just got thrown into this last minute, just like she made the trip last minute. Her ex-husband's already talked to me, and it's very suspicious. But what a better way to turn around and say, and know that I'm not going to come through then if the kids aren't going to be here, then just take off and leave. Because the bottom of the letter says that if I do not contact him by the 21st of June, they can turn around and make an assessment and a judgment against me by default. Problem is, the man never called me. That department, that particular agency knows what I do for a living. They have my contact numbers. And they've never made an attempt to call me ever. My phone rings, I pick it up. I don't miss any phone calls strictly because of the fact of what I do for a living and who I'm contracted with. I can't afford to miss phone calls. So, it's very suspicious how it all worked out. And these guys thought the same thing. I said, well, let me show you one other thing here real quick. So we're going through. She took the electronics again. So we filed for that again. She's now going to face another felony theft, aggravated theft charge for that. She took the kids without my knowledge. She's going to be investigated for that as well now because they were like, wait a minute, you didn't know that she took the kids? I said, I have no idea where the kids are even at. I said, I only know that she was in Virginia. That's the only thing I know. I don't know the address. I have no idea where it's at or anything else. And I showed them the mail, and they're like, why would she send that with the return address here and then address to here? I said, well, look at the postmark. It's in Virginia. She sent it on the 15th of June. So we know on 15th of June she was in Virginia. And I start going through pictures on this particular phone right here. And I'm showing them all the pictures from the night I got home, Friday night. And she's trying to snuggle up on me. And they're just looking. They're all wide-eyed. I was like, look, guys. I was like, if there's any inappropriate pictures, you guys have seen this kind of stuff before, just understand there may be something like that there. And I'm just scrolling through. And they're watching photos and videos. And then we're at the beach. And there's photos and videos. And she's all happy. I have pictures of her kissing me at the beach. I have pictures of the kids crawling all over me at the beach. We're having a great time. I have pictures after we get home that night. And then I left the following morning. But she's now made this claim that I've turned around and I've physically abused our son. This is the stuff you get to deal with, guys, when you're dealing with a Sorry, guys. There's bugs all over out here. Welcome back. Anyway, this is the stuff that you have to deal with extremely vindictive, narcissistic. It's who I have to deal with an extremely vindictive, narcissistic female. At the end of the day, she's angry because she has always bragged about the fact that she has left every man. And what she is not used to is being rejected and dumped by a man. I would have never left her, and I would have never turned around and broken up with her if it was worth working out. But I mean, let's face it, guys, 3 years she's been screwing around behind my back. She's been keeping secrets, and every day I find out something new. More and more people pop in out of the woodwork because they start to hear this story from me because I've made them public. And they're like, oh my God, like that's not what she told me. Well, I'm sorry, that's not what she told you. And they turn around and they start telling me what she said. And it's like, look, the one thing I've been extremely, extremely careful about doing is anytime I release anything on video, whether it's here or on my Facebook, is I make sure that I have the documented evidence prior to ever releasing anything. She's attempted to come at me and be like, oh, all this slanderous talk and you've defamed my character. No, negative. Everything can be proven. Everything. That's why I have no problem telling my story, guys. People need to know, like, you can have to deal with this kind of stuff. It gets extremely intense. It's the reason why after 3 years, in some ways, I'm a broken man from all this stuff. She doesn't care. I'm going to do everything I can to destroy you or break you down, one of the two. If I can't get the money from you and live the way I want to live, then I will destroy you. Go for it. You haven't been successful yet. She certainly tried. And the first time she filed the first protection order, yeah, I was freaking out, for sure. That's my contract on the line. That's both my contracts on the line. I can't have a felony record. I can't have things like a protection order filed against me. But I don't do anything to turn around and get those kind of things filed legitimately anyway. So once I spoke to, my attorney, and once I spoke to a few other people that were in the know, because, again, guys, with what I've done in the past, I know a lot of these guys with the local agency. I know a lot of guys with the county as well. And we get along very well. And off the record, they will speak to me and they will tell me all kinds of great things because they realize, like, if you're a person of good character, if you're a good person, with integrity, there's no reason why a person should attack you and try to take you down like this. I have the right to leave anytime I want. And that's what I've chosen to do. She doesn't like that. For her, it's a control thing. And the crazy thing about dealing with someone who's narcissistic like this is they will tell on themselves immediately as soon as they get upset. She's a very emotional person. And once she gets emotional in her text messages, and I've tried to advise her before, like, look, think before you type stuff and send it, because understand, as soon as you send me something messed up, it gets screenshot and it gets sent to my attorney, period. I'm very much used to now walking around, when I used to come to this house all the time, I'd have my phone in my pocket, boom, press record. Because you have to cover yourself. You have to be very, very careful because people like this will do everything they can. She doesn't care if you go to jail. They don't care. So that was definitely interesting. I had to clean up. I was doing yard work earlier, so I looked kind of funky. But yeah, like her dad popped in. Because the guy's supposed to be taking care of the dogs. Like he acted like he had no clue that I was here. But understand, the Jaguar that's been in the garage for, 2 years that I've had stored in the garage, it's out in the driveway. So like he clearly knew I was here, but he tried to act surprised. We had an interesting conversation though, and that conversation really ended up with him not realizing that I was serious about like leaving. And I said, well, what would make you think in a million years that I'm going to sit around and keep taking this craziness? I mean, I know my value, so no, I'm not going to stick around for this stuff. And your daughter's going to have to figure that out and understand something. Inadvertently, you became the father husband. He says, well, what's that mean? I said, I was the husband. I said, because you're the father, I said, and she goes to you for everything. I said, understand. I said, you're going to assume all the responsibility of all this other stuff going on around here because this ain't cheap. I've discussed that before, guys, and I apologize for shaking this. I just wanted to get this in there, too, as part of this video. Yeah, I mean, as I explained to him, and this is sort of, what I've realized for myself, if a person doesn't want to be with you, you can't force them. If they've got problems, you can't fix them. She's made it very clear to me on several different occasions, although she runs back and, inevitably tries to kiss up on me and hug on me and all this other crazy stuff. And I'll include pictures like even this past Memorial Day, when the police officers were here earlier and they were just asking me like, what was going on and everything. And I explained to them that she turned around and filed this paperwork and literally waited for me to leave, and then took off and left out of town herself. So she wasn't going to be here when they delivered the letter, and she could just play stupid about the whole thing. That's fine. You can do that. But like even her father said the same thing to police officers. Like, well, why was she all kissing up and hugging on you? I said, like, the day I got served the first time back in December for a protection order, she falsely accused me of things. When the sheriff's deputy came out to serve me, I said, I want to show you something. And I literally showed him pictures and video of the night before when I had gotten home. I said, oh, here, look at this. And he was just like, why would this woman want to be making love to you if she was scared of you? I said, look, man, because it's all lies. That's why. All she wants at the end of the day is she's going to be as desperate as she possibly can and do as many different things as she possibly can to convince me to keep paying the bills. Guys, that ain't going to happen. I work way too hard. And, again, you have to recognize your self-worth and understand that, I don't have to bend for this. I don't have to turn around and change who I am because I'm a good man. It would be different if I was actually an abusive guy or if I have a track record of being abusive or mean or stuff like that. I don't. I work hard. That's what I do. I'm a hard ass behind the wheel. Years ago, you could definitely say, come here, buddy. You could definitely say that I like being a hard ass, whether it was wearing a badge or, hell, when I first got out of college and I was a bouncer. Yes, I like to fight, but I don't bring that into my home. I've got kids. I raised my 24-year-old half of his life by myself. Okay, I don't expose him to that kind of stuff. I take pride, like I've said in other videos. I really do. I enjoy being a dad, and that's going to be the part for me that's going to hurt the most, is that I have to now make a choice. It's, do I allow her to continue to have the boys after all this craziness that's gone on? What are you doing, baby? Or, and then I get, limited visitation and I pay her child support, which I'm all for. I'm the guy who's taking myself to court to put myself on child support, as unusual as it is. But it's no more unusual than me turning around and putting my life story on, on YouTube or even on Facebook. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I believe a man is, has responsibilities towards his children. You make children, you have to support them. I have no problem voluntarily coming out of pocket and paying more because I've done it. I've done it all this time. For the last year, I've been doing it. Okay? I think that it's absolutely necessary.